points down, just the whole little Cork are.
But a long, long way to go as John Carroll picks it up and releases it inside. And that's over the bar. Nicely put over there in a second for John O'Brien in this match. A little bit of relief for the Tipperary fans, part of the 50,000 plus throng at Semple Stadium. John O'Brien has been contributing 2 points per game so far in this year's championship. In his own quiet way, he's been doing really well. Donald O'Cusack with the puck out. It's 1 against 2. Timmy McCarthy is beaten for this one. Taken away from him by Hugh Maloney. Possession regained by John O'Brien. On towards John Carroll. Little race for this one, facing back towards his own goal is Pat Mulcahy. He's left it there to Lark Corbett. Lark Corbett releases inside to Fitzgerald. Oh, it comes off the goalkeeper, and an amazing intervention there by Donald O'Cusack, who once again denies Diarmaid Fitzgerald. That's the second time in the game so far.
Yeah, Joe, really should have been a goal. Lark Corbett did very, very well here, and a beautiful pass inside. Great vision, and Diarmaid really should have put it away, but Donald did well, stood his ground. But Tipperary have had a few goal chances. Now they're going to take a little bit of encouragement from that.
Well, they've had 3 goal chances and he's been beaten only once so far. Diarmaid Fitzgerald, the UCD student, of course, Babs knows him terribly well from the Fitzgibbon Cup campaigns and the Dublin County Championships as well. And he has the height and the strength in there, although he is noticeably strapped up. That leg is strapped up. Clearly the hamstring is causing him difficulties. Owen Kelly for the second time, hitting a 65 and hitting it over the bar. His 2 points so far, both coming from frees. And they are distance frees as well. Cork not conceding frees, the handy ones, the 35 metres jobs.
No, they're not, and they did a lot of, they gave away a lot of soft frees the last days, particularly Pat Mulcahy, but much more discipline today.
Here's Ronan Curran, that was clever. Oh. Someone got beyond Conor O'Mahony, should have cut it out. And Tipper glad that Paul Curran is in there ahead of Brian Corcoran. Out as far as Jerry O'Connor. Once again it's to Niall McCarthy. Huge one out, but that's gone left. And that's 4 wides now for the Munster and All-Ireland champions. So a goal the margin. Brendan Cummins sweeping it down all the way in. Oh, great catch by Ronan Curran. He was going backwards, showed wonderful athleticism and a good eye, and there were steps taken, and it's a free against him. Free into Tipperary.
I think that's pretty harsh. A great catch, he fell over Diarmaid O'Sullivan. He hit the ground and got up, and I think it was harsh enough. Really, he played the ball as quickly as he could.
There wasn't an awful lot he could have done about that. Cork back defending. Tipperary's free. So once again, Owen Kelly stands over it. He'll just want to pop this over the bar and put 2 between them. No difficulty whatsoever.
It's a great response by Tipperary. They were 5 points down 3 minutes ago to get the last 3 points really back into the game, and credit them for really putting it up to Cork.
Well, I think they've shown wonderful fighting spirit. These are the statistics so far. What grabs you there most?
Very few frees, but that'll be typical with Dickie Murphy. And I suppose the number of wides, a lot of pressure on from both sides, not converting all their chances. Only 50-50.
Towards Brian Corcoran. Breaks down here, and Paul Curran kept his eye on it. Needed reinforcements there. Conor O'Mahony couldn't get it out, but it's out eventually into the centre here. Declan Fanning, the Killinall player. Huge one down towards Lark Corbett, operating atop of the left. Trying to beat the ball for pace. Does so. Driving it across towards Diarmaid Fitzgerald. Luft's going farther and farther out from goal. Helped there by the presence of Sean O'Halpine. O'Halpine to Jerry O'Connor, running into the midfielder Shane McGrath. They get it away out towards Ben O'Connor, and there was a loose player inside. Had Ben managed to get there, Cian O'Connor was just ahead of him, unmarked in the corner. Let's go down to the sideline for a moment to Tony O'Donoghue. Tony.
Thanks very much indeed, Ger. Well, Owen Kelly has contributed 3 points for Tipperary, but all from place balls. He'll have to do better if they're to win this.
Oh, well, I mean, it's early days yet, Tony, but a significant move is that he's gone to full forward now in on top of Dermot O'Sullivan. Brian Murphy did have the upper hand there in that first half period, you know, but there's been some dominant performance. Eamon Cochran on the other side for Tip has been very, very good as well in that first half. And I suppose the big difference is Cork did get the 2 goals and Tip had to have their chances at the other side, but Donald Cusack has matched the shots.
Oh, that's bounced very dangerously. John Gardner all the way off the stick of Brendan Cummins and up and over the bar.
Yeah, dangerous ball. Unusual for Brendan Cummins to let the ball bounce like that. You know, normally he would have come out and caught that in his chest, but dangerous thing to let bounce, but hopped over the bar, luckily enough for him.
Well, now, as Tomas was saying there, just to pick up on that point, Owen Kelly has gone in on Dermot O'Sullivan. This was a move I thought they might make at some stage. They'll make lots and lots of moves in the course of the 70 minutes, but they're going to clearly see whether they can test him and just see how relaxed the rock is this afternoon.
Yeah, I think just the one weakness Owen Kelly has, and we've talked about, is he's not the fastest guy in the world, and there's a lot of space inside in the corner, maybe 30-40 yards run, and Brian Murphy has been beating him to the ball every time, so he'll have shorter runs inside the full forward and he can use his strength.
And of course, Babs has done his homework. John Allen now has to decide whether or not Dermot is to stay on Owen Kelly at full forward or whether Brian Murphy should track back and pick him up.
No, Cork will leave him there. Brian Murphy wouldn't have the physical presence under a high ball in around the square.
Well, this is Brian Murphy now up against Fitzgerald. And again, look where Jerry O'Connor comes, almost on the end line. Huge clearance under pressure. Man with an enormous engine, Jerry O'Connor. This is Timmy McCarthy trying to angle the ball, but it's cut out really well by Paul Ormond. Good play by the cornerback, who's come back into the action, looking for another Munster medal. John Carroll, big one down towards Owen Kelly. Dermot O'Sullivan has come out with him. Pat Mulcahy's in behind. The referee says play on. Tipperary people looking for a free. Comes as far as Niall McCarthy. Niall McCarthy setting sail. Not the best of hand passes. Tip tried to intervene, but it's Jerry O'Connor again, from being at corner back to being in midfield to putting it just wide. When you consider that he couldn't even make the starting 15 in the Munster final in 2003, and 2 years later he was hurler of the year. That was a great catch by John Carroll.
Great catch, yeah, and in fairness to the Tip half forward line, much maligned before, and they're doing very, very well so far. I think Cork are shooting a few uncharacteristic wides from out the field. Joe Dean was free there and should have, you know, maybe the ball just played into him. A nice simple ball inside.
5 wides as it happens for Cork. Here's Jerry O'Connor again. This time fumbles. This time it's taken up by Paul Kelly. And this time Paul Kelly lets fly and puts it over. He'll be remembered for the 7 points he got in last year's Munster final. Well, that's a start, and it means there's only 2 between them. From a huge distance out, this is what Kelly does so well. May not be the tightest of markers, but my goodness, when it comes to long-range shooting, he's top class.
Yeah, but he's marking a lot tighter today, Jared. Tom Kenny hasn't been in the game at all.
Here's Mulcahy. Into Timmy McCarthy. He's seen a lot of the ball. Towards Cian O'Connor, who switched up to top of the right. Back towards Ben O'Connor. Goal scorer a little while ago. Blocked down brilliantly that time. They work it in towards Paul Ormond. That was a good block by Hugh Maloney there. Getting it forward here towards Lark Ormond. Way out the field. Towards Owen Kelly against Dermot O'Sullivan. Both players on the ground. Referee, let's play continue. Brian Murphy there with Sean O'Halpine coming in to help. Dermot Fitzgerald chasing after him, but he's held back and it's going to be a free out for Cork. A cool and a composed Sean O'Halpine, who was the RTE Sports personality of 2005. And the referee is having words, and a ticking indeed for Dermot Fitzgerald.
I think it's something that people don't realise at times. John Gardner, Ronan Curran and Sean Og are all about 6'3". You know, a bit of physical hurling is not going to bother them in the least, and particularly Sean Og, great sportsman, but he's able to use his strength as well. But I think that was a free, and I think Dermot O'Sullivan held down Owen Kelly in the ball on the way in there, and Dermot was lucky enough to get away with it.
I think a lot of people on the ground felt it as well. Here's Jodine. Good block down. Hugh Maloney again. Comes out once again, and that time it's Eamon Corcoran getting it away down the field for Tipperary. Redzer O'Grady holding it up. Has possession. Driving it. looking for a score, but really he had other options. He had two men waiting inside, and the two men were Lar Corbett and Diarmaid Fitzgerald. Wasted opportunity. Quick puck out this time to Jerry O'Connor, and Cork doing what they've been doing over the last number of years. When a team loses its concentration, they go for the short one, but the referee has blown his whistle, and there were three catches this time. Only allowed two, so it's going to be a free for Tipperary. But that lapse of concentration, Tipperary need to be careful about what Cork are up to. There's an injury here, as you can see. Ronan Curran. So once again the physio required. Colin Lane. Ronan Curran won an awful lot of well-deserved applause and good mentions after he performed so well for John Allen's team in the semi-final against Clare. Came back to his best form that afternoon.
Super game that day, yeah. Just the last few minutes I noticed ball in.
Just 1 second, I would go down to Tony O'Donoghue for a moment. Sorry about that, Tony.
Well, Babs Keating has been getting word to Diarmaid Fitzgerald to try and go narrow, to get in alongside Owen Kelly and to get the breaking ball, because he thinks he can benefit from that tactic. So he's getting Diarmaid Fitzgerald to try and get in as close as he can and play off Owen Kelly.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, I think what I've noticed in the last few minutes, the ball is breaking in there, and Sean Og is picking it all up there. He's really drifting back into that space, and John Carroll, you know, on a hot day like today, maybe not the greatest athlete in the world at this stage, you know, not able to cover that ground as quickly as Sean Og.
That's Owen Kelly striking it crisply and putting it over the bar. Very, very rarely misses. That's 4 from 4. And they've, by and large, been long-range frees, except for one, I think. At least 2 minutes of stoppage time will be played. And it's 2-6 to 1-8, and it's Tipperary again trying to engineer something, and Diarmaid Fitzgerald this time says, I stood my ground, and that should be a free the other way.
It should be. He's making up for the last one, which I often see in refereeing. Absolutely no way was that a free. Owen Kelly played for the free. He turned and faced into Diarmaid O'Sullivan, and it looks like it's quits now. The last one definitely was a free. That was definitely a free out.
Well, this one can level up the game for Tipperary.
Tipperary be delighted with this. Their confidence, you can see their backline gaining in confidence. They're really getting on top of the Cork forwards and closing them down. And most of the Cork forwards are finding it very, very hard to make an impression now at this stage.
Well, the crowd are really enjoying it. Owen Kelly ready to take. Referee wants everybody back around the exclusion zone. Back the 20 metres.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him going for a goal here,
He
John.
might.
I think he's going to go for it.
He's happy to put it over and level the game, and they are level for the first time. And Owen Kelly has got 5 points. All of them are from frees. But that doesn't matter to the Tip fans or to the Tip team or management.
And Tip are playing against a pretty strong wind as well, Jerry. You know, so they're going to be delighted with the way the first half has gone. They conceded 2 goals at bad times for them, and you have to come straight back into the game, and they're going to be, you can just notice their backs, they're really gaining in confidence and getting on top of the Cork forward.
Babs will remember back in 1987 when he was here in a Munster final leading his team against Cork for the first time at the championship as manager. Previous year Cork had been the winners of the title in 1986, and of course, as we know, Tipperary with Nicky English and Pat Fox and so on, they drew in 87 and won a famous match in Killarney in a replay. And against that, Tip were the champions in 1989, and Cork came here almost no hopers and won with Mark Foley scoring 2 goals and 7 that famous day in 1990. I thought it was 2.
We have a pound on that, a euro on that, Jerry. I think it was 3-7. Brendan Cummins will fancy his chances from here. You know, this will definitely land in around the square, you'd imagine.
And Diarmaid Fitzgerald is ready for it, marking Owen Kelly. Teams level. We're playing the first minute of stoppage time. There's about a minute and a half left. Who will take a lead going into the break? Breaks down here, and is Ronan Curran, who steps out of the troubled area, takes it away. Not such a good clearance, straight to Hugh Maloney. Darting inside into the centre here, it's Paul Kelly. Reds or O'Grady. Needed a second touch. going the long way about it. The pressure applied on Hugh Maloney by Niall McCarthy. They might have done the simpler thing and got in the chance, but credit Cork for the pressure they're applying. Jerry O'Connor up towards Brian Corcoran, who scored one of the goals in the first half. That's Paul Curran, Mullen, a home player. Out here as far as Conor O'Mahony, playing in his first ever Munster hurling final. Ger O'Grady. This is taken once again, and this time the free is to Cork for the foul on Jerry O'Connor. And I make it about 20 seconds of the 2 minutes of stoppage time still to be played. So in a very, very tight game like this one here, long-range frees can be so important at the end of the 70 minutes. John Gardner's 1 out of 2 so far from frees. He got 2 points in all because the other one came from play. There's Gardner. It's landing in the square. Joe Dean, it bounces around awkwardly, and it's taken by Declan Fanning, and the referee blows the whistle. The end of the first half, and listen to the crowd. They've enjoyed it overall. Mistakes were made, certainly, but wonderful entertainment. Lark Corbett cracking home a goal for Tipperary after 4 minutes. Brian Corcoran getting one for Cork after 12. Ben O'Connor then dashing in for one after 20 minutes. And at the end of the first half, the teams are going in level here. And the two managers will have a lot to talk about and a lot to say to their teams after 37 minutes of action here, where Diarmuid O'Sullivan and his colleagues at the back were busy. And the half-time score in Semple Stadium here reads Cork 2 goals and 6 points, Tipperary 1 goal and 9. And we'll have more action, analysis and conversation right after the break.
£500. Oh, and you also get this free toy.
Thanks.
Where are your papers?
They're in the cab.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, and you also get this free toy.
Thanks.
Brewed to perfection since 1847. Carlsberg. So good, the Danes hate to see it leave.
The Lure on Sport by Chanel.
Prehydrating with Powerade before games is proven to delay muscle fatigue and improve stamina in top athletes. Preparation changes everything. Prepare yourself. Prehydrate with Powerade.
For a different view, the Irish Examiner.
The Munster Final 2006 is at the halfway point here in Thurles, and it's all square. It's Cork 2 goals and 6 points, Tipperary 1 goal and 9 points. Cyril Farr-Jollachnan here with me. Coming in the road this morning, I saw a house. There was a tip flag up on the side of the house. There was a sign in the garden, "Come on the Rebels." I hope the marriage is in good shape. It'll be tested in the second half.
Well, it's okay at the moment. It's kind of even at the moment, but a terrific game. You know, great movement, great skill, terrific scores in it. Tipperary made a great start. Cork came back into the game, but this is kind of like Clare and Cork at the All-Ireland semi-final last year. Cork are in trouble here. They're not at the height of their form. Tip are really sharp, driving into the tackle. Now, the two things we talked about before the start. The Tip half-back line are cleaning out the Cork half-forward line. And they are supplying great ball, diagonal ball, right across into their full forward line. So there's ball going into the full forward line, into the Tip full forward line that we didn't expect would be going in such supply at the very, very start. So Tip are really on the ascendancy here. Now, they've missed 2 goals. If they got to there, they'd be well ahead. But Cork are still in this game, and Cork are a second half team, so it is going to be an intriguing second half.
Oh, there's no doubt about that, but taking up on the point that Joe was making, Cyril, you know, they got early benefit from that ball into the full forward line. Lar Corbett's goal.
Oh yeah, and he did the very same like the last week. Well, he's really in top form, and the boys were saying in training he was showing as well. He had a lot to do now. This is a great line ball out here, and he still has a lot to do here. As Gerard said, they're winning this ball, and eventually goes in the half forward and takes a bit of time. John O'Brien was having a quite effective game, has picked 2 points in play, and there's a lot of work, even though John Garrett's playing now. This is a lovely ball in, but he's a lot to do with Corbett flicks this ball in here, still takes up 1 touch, and he still has a lot to do, but fires an unstoppable shot. He had a terrible lot to do there, came across his man Mulcahy, still had to take it up here, first touch, bang, and right across. Fantastic shot from a great goal.
What is a goal like that? Because he has his doubters, in fairness, among some people.
He has, but to be fair to him, Michael, he's nearly always injured. This is his first game.
And he's a finisher.
Yeah.
Goals is what he scores. And goals is what you need nowadays in the game, because goals are so scarce.
And he has pace, the one thing they don't like inside. Great start for Tip.
A couple of years ago, Cork took a man who was a defender and brought him up and put him in full forward, and he contributed and scored.
Yeah, and where would they be without him? You know, for the last 2 years, he has been probably the most influential forward. And again, he did it today, just what was needed. Not only did he score, but he made it as well. Now, this was a great movement here in this ball. Now, Cork were really on top at this stage of the game. Niall McCarthy wins the ball, and of course, Niall balloons it, half misses it as usual, goes in. Now, watch Corcoran's play. He has it here. Great pass to Joe Dean. Maybe he should have finished it, but there he is. Corcoran himself will shove it in.
Sure, Corcoran there. Not only did he give the pass. Watch it here now. Most players that stand up, he gives this pass, but he continues on. Most people think Joe Dean's going to score. He doesn't. Corcoran still continues on about the 20 yards. Great side forward to keep moving. Because
in case the goalie blocked it and he came out to the side, he'd be there to finish it.
There he is.
So there he is, and just no wild swing or anything, just shoves it into the net. You know. But lucky to have got that goal, you know. Cork are very, very lucky to have got those 2 goals, because they're in big trouble right all over the field.
Well, they're lucky with the second goal they got from this point of view. It was a great goal by Ben O'Connor, but if we go all the way back, the ball was fouled by the Cork defender on the way up in the move.
Yeah, well, Brian Murphy turned once or twice, but like he's playing quite well, and he has been very strict. Now here, you see,
it is a foul. It is a foul.
Watch this. They can turn 10 times as long as you play the ball.
This is a foul.
This is it here. He holds like there. Should
that's a foul.
But look at this. What happens here? This is Jerry O'Connor here. Watch this kind of. It's lovely continuous play. Flicks it up here. Knows what he's doing here. Out to a loose man here on his own. Got to pick it up here. Now this is Ben here. Like he has a long way to go here now. Little flick on here. Out to Timmy McCarthy. He's in here to the centre. All right. Back to Jerry. Now look at here. Travels another little bit. Another hand pass in there. Here's Ben again. Now he's not fully fit, I'd say. After saying that, bangs an unstoppable shot in the back of the net. He has travelled 60 or 70 yards. Strides a bit sharp. But once he gets it, he has only one thing in mind. He's going to go for goal. Great strike.
Now, what should also expect there that he'd go across the goals of the ball. But everybody knows that if Brendan Cummins has a weakness, it's here at his left-hand side, and he strikes it in at the near post. Cummins is expecting it to cross the goals, so he kept his head. But Ben's pace is not the pace of the Ben of old today.
Fellas, we've been talking about the great Argentinian goal in the World Cup a couple of nights ago. The second half here in Thurles come your way in a few minutes' time. But for the moment, we're going to hand you back to the newsroom in RTE for An Nuacht.
Radio Television an éistó sin am den nuacht RTE ó léamh ag Cormac O'Hara.
Gomanigi riamh. Mariú trúr gwar timpistí bohuir ó bhaidin. Mariú bertar gan de hírí glúar maidin nuair a bhfuil rách lúisrothar agus cár faoin na chéile. Hurling timpistí bohuir seo ag tuairim is a séach lagar maidin bhothar an ina fichi hían idir Ilan hírí agus Munster na féile I gan de limní. Mariú bertar nuair a bhfuil rách lúisrothar agus cár gan díana BMW faoin na chéile. Siad na glúisrothaithe a Mariú agus gortaíú fearr áitiúil a bhí ag tiomáint an cháir freisin. Teictear gur bhfuil an BMW agus cá eile Opel Omega faoin na chéile sula tharla an timpiste warafach. Tá cóirleis chá cóir ar thiomalaí an BMW in Ospedal Generalta Rálí ach nílte gortaithe go Donamaster, ní ra aon den eile sa gáir in dhéanach leis. Bhí an bhirte Mariús na fichidí agus bas an bolling don bhirte acu. Bhí ar a teacht a slóga Harley Davidson a bhí ar siúl de Gilárne. Tá tiomalaí an cháirs na tríochadí Master. Agus gunda liatrama Mariú fearras na seascadín nuair a bhfuil an glúisiúr bhí sé hamáint agus cár faoin na chéile ag coradrom a rúisc go gairid tar éis meán lei inniu. Tá cúigiúr a gabhadh le linn rúthar a thug na Gardaí faoi rint tithe im lá clia agus a gunda na míoné fósá geistú acu. Tá fearr eile scuilte saor. Jarabha scrúda hint líolaíocha gur 3 kilogram gan drug a heroin fiú €8 milliún ar a laid é a bhí sa lásta a fórthas sa deach rá tóga gan dí na mí. Fórthas gunda cuachtach sa teach freisin agus cead a ghona eile I deach a sword, tá an cúigear atá gofa ghuialta na chéile. Chunta sé chuid de scéalta achtrach an daon is seo elbhá manacháin.
Tá plán nachhuiitiris gurtha faoi breid na Parliamente ag príomhhaire na híracha Núri Al-Maliki, plán a bhfuil sé mar aimige jeú a chuir an Oregon sa tír, seansatan ag grúpi atá geirí tríalhaintes próise siochanna le sé tíre atógal a dúirt Maliki, dhearachta tá sa plán a bhfuil cirfantes fihan le jeú a chuir se warú seicte atá ar bonna ar pobl Shia agus Sunni. Sa bheith nuair Mario ar léad Bert Israelach an Yonsi a bhain Palestini an aice le Cuilas Gaza, dúirt aram Israel gur ceathar a Mario. Níos luithir má dín Mario trúir a bhíleiste I Palestíneacha le linn Yonsi a bhainú ar funte seiceala Israelach ar teáran idir Israel agus a Cuilas. Dear grúpa frasra an Gaza gur Yonsi díaltas bhíon as Mario rinne da ganraí an Yonsi éir a rinne Israel. Agus bhí uachtarán Chirac na Franke a gceannas ar chomarú nócha bliain a bhainniú ar che Verdun nar a hanig Crístaithe agus Moslamaí a réon na chéile sa rank leis na Gearmanaí a thruid sa chead chogú dónda. Fuair na mílte Moslamach buasan sa chogú tan chomarú aniu a tarlú agus caidrú deachar ag an bhanaíocht an sa rank le munlaí creideann sa tíir sin. Ar a bh manacháin nuaíocht RTA.
Bhí an taspántas éiad bliain tú leir siúil do mór na trá náile tróna, anna na scach bliain eile tá conspóid tarní ag an taspántas mar an lachan eistláin bhílat in na Breataine Páirteán rinne méran na gaiileh níl ó bradacháin baicát éir chábhar seo.
Bhí na slúirte amó I ríiste mbliana de taspántas éar bliain túil I móthar na trá sa chaileh. Ach, sar a hosnaigh an seoan achar, bhí daoine eile ag léidiú mí hásachta féis na hetláin cogaigh a bhí ag ghlacha pórta sa taspántas.
Tá siad a céilear hetláin cogaigh rudaí militeach. Sin an feibh atá ein leis an prótas seo, ach an bblion seo tá si speisialte go donna mar atá piláti an a ró tógal parts an coga mílachas an rac. Tá míid an mí hostal leis an rud a rinne na Gardaí. Bhí míid a gol scuileach 99 Rebelloons, taréis an árán 99 Rebelloons agus tháinig na Gardaí agus phléasc siad na balloons ar dúirt siad go raibh concert an.
Hosnaigh an taspántas éar hain leis a bhuidan speisialta de Blades agus é an chéadúir dóibh in éidean. Clach timppla dahad éar orthach pórta sa taspántas ar chóir na héidean an hawk glóireach do chuid an RAF, the Red Arrows agus parachute do chuid Adam na héidean, the Black Knights in a mask. Ailíní choistele nuacht RTE bóthar na trá sa chaileh.
Agus sin bhfuil agan díobh tróna, ba nóch TG Cadar siúil le carúch an na seacht idir a dáilíonn sláán agus bannacht.
Sunshine came softly through my window today.
At Boomers,
It'll take time, I know it.
this has always been the perfect time to put everything on ice.
My mind up, you're going to be mine.
Boomers original cider, time dedicated to you.
Your county needs you. You need the Irish Sun. Keep up with all the latest action in the Irish Sun, Ireland's biggest selling daily tabloid. The Irish Sun, we love it.
What are you going for, Hector? I think I'll go for a lucky lad in the 315. Horse racing, it's all about checking out the form. And there's a few fine fillies around here. Come on!
Cheers, boys. I could eat a horse.
What? Horse racing, let yourself go!
of Energized Sports isotonic formula rehydrates the body faster than water, fueling the passion.
Welcome back again to the programme. Half-time in the Munster final between Cork and Tip. 53,000 people here, slightly more than, had a big round of applause from those 53,000 for Jimmy Purcell here, who was the groundsman here at Semple Stadium. Sean Fogarty making the presentation there to Jimmy. He's been groundsman here since 1985, but he's decided to hand back the keys and hand over to somebody else. And from all of us who work here in Semple Stadium, many thanks indeed to Jimmy for all his help and cooperation down through the years. All square at half-time, gentlemen. I'll ask you the question I asked you at the start. Who's going to win the Munster final?
At half-time, Tip are the happiest in the dressing room. They came out here, they've taken the game to Cork, fell behind, came back again, and they're against a bit of a breeze. They'll be quite happy to be just level at half-time, prefer to be up, of course, but like they're in the ascendancy in the sense that they are coming and have upset Cork. Which I would think Cork in the second half, their half-back line midfield especially, will just let the ball fly a bit faster to full forward line. They're kind of both floating around midfield and they're being caught for over-carrying and over-passing. I'd say John Allen at half-time had to be a bit more direct. Like, it seems to be that Tip you think are going to win it, but I still have a feeling that Cork will just edge out this.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Tip have shown the game plan, obviously, they set out. It's worked very well so far, but obviously John Allen has been looking at that over the last 35 minutes.
Well, he has, Michael, but there's been a few intriguing things about it. Brendan Cummins is the longest striker of the ball at the game, but he's hitting the puck outs to midfield. He's not hitting them down on top of the Cork half back line. Of
course.
The puck outs have been to midfield.
He's not going to change
that.
Well,
Tom Kenny's out of the game, Paul Kelly's picking up, and then the half forwards are coming out and picking up the loose ball. Now, the second thing is, the more worryingly for John Allen is no half forward has scored. None of the three half forwards have scored. Now, if Niall Ronan isn't better than at least two of those three half forwards, I don't know. I don't know why isn't that.
You'll have a forward or two coming on for Cork in the second half.
Kieran Murphy, Neil Ronan will have to come on.
There's two Murphys there.
Tip are doing that without Owen Kelly having scored from play.
They are, because in their half-forward line, John Carroll has got a point, John O'Brien's got, so they're making
breaking even with Paul.
Well, you see, John Garner seems to have a very good game. He's striking lovely loose ball, but at the same time, John O'Brien is hitting in a lot of ball and has got 2 points from play. Reds are getting a lot of ball through, so Babs will be quite happy. But in the second half, there was a bit of a breeze. You'll find that the puck out will be going into that Cork half-back line more in the second half than this half.
Because Tip have the breeze.
Tip have the breeze.
But will he want it to be going in?
Yeah, he will.
Probably. Well, he'd like to bypass it or else stay midfield side.
He might try and go over it altogether. Because he can go over it and go right to the full forward line in the second half. But Cork are in trouble here. No question about it. Cork are in trouble here, and if Tip keep up the momentum they have and they keep getting that ball to the full forward line, Sullivan is in trouble inside and full back. We could have a massive surprise in store here.
Well, I'll tell you, it's all square at half-time, so it's something that's going to ratchet up the tension, obviously, and the atmosphere here in Semple Stadium for this second half. Great atmosphere. I wish you could be here, but I'm sure you're enjoying it on the TV. Jerry Canning, Michael Duigan in the commentary box.
Thanks, Michael. Don't see any changes on either team at the start of the second half. Dickie Murphy ready to restart the tussle here. Players are ready in the centre of the field. Watch in place. Second half gets underway, and straight away it's Shane McGrath with Tipperary now with that fresh breeze behind them. John Gardner running into a challenge there. It breaks out here towards Owen Kelly. Hand passed, good support there from John O'Brien. Drops short, Donald Cusack. Thought about going to the left. Switched instead to Sean O'Halpine. Dermot O'Sullivan fumbles, misses, in trouble. Nearly handled it on the ground and nobody protested. Ball finally away by Ronan Curran. Paul Ormond coming across here. He's had a really good steady match at left corner back, up towards Lark Corbett. Goal scorer for Tipperary early in the first half. John Gardner back out into the middle. Tom Kenny hasn't seen an awful lot of the action so far, trying to get more involved. Paul Kelly trying to close him down. It's still Tom Kenny. That injection of pace we saw in the semi-final. This time the shot, however, is unrewarded after all the hard work. He is a flyer. This was definitely handled on the ground. Should have been a free.
Yeah, and that's what infuriates with Cork sometimes. 3 or 4 passes to get the ball 30 yards out from the goals and put themselves under pressure. You know, when Donald could have cleared it 80 yards with nobody near him.
Well, now the puck out from Brendan Cummins from the town end here. He's got all the Cork supporters up there encamped behind him. Big, long delivery towards John O'Brien. Spills through the hands of O'Brien and Gardner. Last man to touch it, however, was the Tip player. Line ball to Cork. Level, start of the second half. In points, 12 points apiece. all the way back to the goalkeeper. Look where he's come. Donald O'Cusack with the hurley with that big, huge, wide boss in it to get extra strength and length into the puck. Niall McCarthy dragged back, free to Cork. Any little indiscretion like that's going to be penalised. This, once again, here is a lovely takedown by Niall McCarthy. Then a little collision immediately afterwards. And Joe Dean comes out to take the frees. Joe Dean, 2 points from the first half, one of those from a free.
Yeah, and this is just about his limit, you know, 50 yards out into a slight breeze. So normally Johnny takes the close-in ones and Ben O'Connor takes these ones.
Referee telling Hugh Maloney just to go back. 20 metres. Joe's shot going left and then curling in over the bar. We were right behind it. It was heading outside and the wind then curled it in right between the posts, and advantage Cork, start of the second half. Well, it's one that I think the Cork fans will feel they have needed. It's their first score in 11 minutes of the contest. Ronan Curran coming again to Jerry O'Connor. John Gardner now, low inside towards Brian Corcoran, runs all the way through. Conor O'Mahony couldn't cut it out, but eventually the ball back in the midfield. Jerry O'Connor. Timmy McCarthy now moving in towards top on the right against Paul Ormond. Balancing with difficulty. Trying to approach, trying to set something up. It's Niall McCarthy who ran straight into the nearest Tipperary player to him, and Dickie Murphy calling him aside. And it's Shane McGrath, I think, who is nursing the injury, and the notebook is shown to Niall McCarthy for that. This is it again here. Watch Shane McGrath, and straight into him there. All eyes on the ball was Niall McCarthy.
Yeah, lucky enough to escape a yellow card there, I think. You know, just took him out of it completely.
Pat Mulcahy there with the task of keeping tabs on Lark Corbett, but Shane McGrath's okay. Another one of the players with a yellow helmet. There are 5 of them in all in the match this afternoon. 4 of them playing for Tipperary. John Allen is in touch with some of his selectors up in the stand. Obviously making a point to him. Is there a switch on the way? Right now there's pressure on the Cork backs. Coping well, Ronan Curran. Good approach play to get it out to the middle. Tom Kenny runs away from the nearest Tipperary player to make an angle for himself. Out by Fanning initially. Timmy McCarthy trying to get it back in for Cork. He's got a player inside him, Joe Dean. It's McCarthy taken down, free in. But he had a spare player waiting inside. Eamon Corcoran is the one who dragged him to the ground, 20 metres out. And the referee, who's been reluctant to issue any cards, aside from black ones so far. Well, now what's the response going to be here?
Well, there's a definite yellow card, but Joe Dean was completely unmarked inside. Little hand pass over the top, and it was a certain goal for Cork. So Eamon Corcoran knew what he was doing. He took him out of it, and you know he'll feel it's worth it. It's just a point instead of a goal.
That's the first yellow the players have seen this afternoon. Well, there was a definite goal on, I think, for Cork, and indeed Timmy McCarthy just didn't spot Dean inside. All eyes as he was approaching. It was just before that I think he had a better chance of playing the ball off. So it gives Cork a chance to put 2 between them, and once again it's Joe Dean. Eamon Corcoran running across his line of vision, and Dean is absolutely happy just to plant it into the stand, or into the crowd rather, behind the goal, his 4th point.
Yeah, you just feel the tip need to lift it now, Jared, because Cork have a habit of doing this, just tipping away, and next thing they're gone out of sight. So I think it's very important that Tipperary get the next score and get back into impose themselves in this game. Do they want to win this Munster final? Because they just started the second half very lacklustre.
Broken down once again here. Tipperary trying to gain the edge, and it's John Carroll coming thundering through here. Oh, Halpin's after him, and that's over the bar. Good score. Tipperary will feel they needed that badly. First of the second half. Second for John Carroll. That's 2 shots, 2 points. for the Ross Gray player, who, remember, was an all-star at wing-back 5 years ago when Tip were the All-Ireland champions. Last time they won Munster, of course, that year as well.
Yeah, and he has a great burst of speed. When he breaks through like that, he's very, very dangerous. You know, he creates a lot of goals with his strength, but he's great vision as well, and a super scorer. And himself and John O'Brien had 2 points each against Sean Og and John Garrett. They'd be delighted with that.
The other one of the half-forward line not to score so far is Redzer O'Grady, the captain. The quick pick out, well, it wasn't terribly quick, but it was a short puck out as far as Gardner. Oh, they were trying to be just a little bit too clever there. Paul Kelly hooked, Tom Kenny after him, falls loose to Jerry O'Connor, trying to get the ball away. Shane McGrath again. It's hotting up even more than the first half. Inside towards Eamon Fitzgerald, breaks into the hands of Diarmuid O'Sullivan of Cork. A huge one down. Listen to the roar from the crowd. In towards Brian Corcoran. Corcoran trying to take on Paul Curran. Difficult to do. There's a support player. Paul Ormond coming across here. Ormond releasing it outside for Tipperary. Good play by Tip. Out towards Paul Kelly. They try to get it into the middle. It's Shane McGrath once again. Needs support. Gets it there from John O'Brien. Huge one downfield. It's 1 against 1. Coming across to take Brian Murphy. Needs the goalkeeper. Donald Cusack. Out to a loose player, Ronan Curran. They work it once again in measured fashion to Tom Kenny. Big one into the inside forward line. 2 inside there. No great width. Well covered there by Eamon Corcoran. Gets it out here, but Paul Ormond could be in difficulty with Ben O'Connor present. Into the corner he goes. Taken out there, looking for a free player. Brian Corcoran gets the shot in, gets the point. It's an excellent score. A goal and a point for Brian Corcoran. And after all the pressure from Tipperary at the other end, Cork worked it down the field, never lost the idea of what they needed to. The approach was good, they knew exactly what they had to do. And Brian Corcoran, the right man at the right time. The injury here to Ben O'Connor. They never lost the plot, Cork.
No, they didn't, Jared, but, you know, I'm going back to this. I'm at this for the last 2 or 3 years. Why are Cork overplaying the ball so much out the field? 4 and 5 short little passes when they can get the ball inside and give their inside forward line a chance. The last day when Ben O'Connor wasn't playing, they moved the ball much quicker into Joe Dean, but Joe has got no ball in front of him today. Brian Corcoran there, you know, the odd ball, 1 or 2 balls. So, you know, I don't understand their game plan. Tip are coping very well. Paul Kelly and Shane McGrath closing them down the middle of the field. But really, I think Cork should just back to basics now and let the ball go long inside.
Well, there's a little bit more strapping being applied. This time it seems to an ankle for Ben O'Connor. But certainly when he runs at full pelt, you see immediately that he's not 100% happy.
He's only running maybe 70-80%. Still, he's doing quite well, you know. But Paul Ormer's clearing a lot of ball there. He still has a goal and a point to his name and created that score there. So still doing a very quietly effective job, but obviously been badly hampered with that hip injury.
Well, this is the player who got, I think, a goal in 7. Babs Keating has, I'm sure, worked his team up almost a fever pitch at this stage. But they're focused as well. They've got to remain cool and calm because there's a long, long way to go. 25 minutes of this final. And there's only 2 points between these teams. Great rivals. John Gardner takes it. Tipperary looking for their first victory against Cork in the championships since 1991. Line ball. Chance for Tip to apply a little bit of pressure on John Gardner and the rest of the backs. It'll be Paul Kelly, another one of the Mullinaholm people to take it. John Lahey, of course, one of the selectors this year, also from that club. Paul taking his time about it. Oh, miss-hitting. In towards John O'Brien. Timmy McCarthy getting there first for Cork, and now Ronan Curran. Down, Ben O'Connor trying to nurse it into the corner to himself. 2 Tipperary players there. One of them is Hugh Maloney, and Hugh Maloney is fouled. That's going to be a free to Tipperary. Well, now Tip will be hoping after that little spell of dominance by Cork that they can achieve a little bit of mastery themselves. That's Hugh Maloney trying to get away. Hand was held by Ben O'Connor.
Yeah, and you know, Paul Ormond, Lara Corbett, these are very good athletes. One thing about Tipperary, they look to be last in the pace very, very well. You know, they're closing down Cork. Cork aren't getting away. And it's one thing about Babs, he brings in the best people around him. You know, even when he was with us in Offaly, he had Johnny Murray, a superb physical trainer. And the same thing, this Tipperary team looked very, very fit. And it looks like Cork are going to go right down to the wire to get away from them.
Wonder what John Allen had to say to Ben O'Connor there just moments ago.
Just ask him how he's feeling, you know, how his fitness is, and maybe bring in a fresh man.
Owen Kelly standing over this. He is just 10 metres or so in from the sideline. from the middle of the park. That's wonderfully on target. A 6 out of 6 for Owen Kelly. All of his scores have come from frees. That in itself is significant. But at the end of the day, the Tipperary fans and the team, they won't care if they're 1 point ahead of Cork at the end, how the scores came about.
Yeah, Ger, but they've been 2 65s and 2 or 3 very long-range trees as well, just a couple of tap overs. So, you know, they have to be scored as well. They're very, very important.
Timmy McCarthy holds this one well. About to be challenged by Shane McGrath. McGrath trying to tap the ball, does so successfully. Great play by McGrath, a youngster coming to the pitch of the game. Up towards Diarmuid Fitzgerald. Diarmuid O'Sullivan, it gets it away to John Gardner, right half back, into Tom Kenny. Tom Kenny challenged there by Paul Kelly. Low this time towards Ben O'Connor, runs beyond him. Jerry O'Connor trying to make life difficult for Paul Ormond. Stands his ground well. He's a strongly built fellow. Up to another strong fellow on the 40. Redzer O'Grady. Breaks inside towards Owen Kelly. Trying to skip away from the challenge of Brian Murphy. Over his shoulder. That's a beauty! The levelling score. The first from play by Owen Kelly. 7 for the day.
Absolutely brilliant score made by Paul Ormond, who's having a stormer really coming into the game. But just a little flick of the wrist over his shoulder, nothing to Brian Murphy. He's back in the corner on Brian Murphy, but nothing Brian Murphy could do about that.
Wonderful score by Owen Kelly. Pressure back once again on the Tipperary half-backs. It's Jerry O'Connor, dispossessed beautifully. Tell you, Shane McGrath's having a great game.
Well, he's very athletic, and he's just he's staying on his job, covering the ground, and that's what you have to do with Cork. Be disciplined and close them down. And it must be affecting the Cork players' confidence now. This running game isn't working. Have they got a plan B?
Because John Gardner, Ronan Curran, Sean O'Halpine, you expect them to be totally in control. You expect Tom Kenny and Jerry O'Connor more or less to run the show. Tip have other ideas today. And today, maybe their ideas will come good. That's left behind there by Fanning for Joe Dean. And Joe Dean seizes on the chance and puts it over the bar. 5 points for Joe Dean from 5 shots. It's quite a shootout as we watch Cian O'Connor on the ground. Quite a shootout between Owen Kelly and Joe Dean. Let's go down to the sideline and join Tony O'Donoghue.
With Tomás Mulcahy. Tomás, it's so close. Can you call it now?
But yeah, it's very, very close. In fairness to Tipperary, they're really putting it up to Cork, and I mean, their full back line has been very, very dominant in the start of the second half as well. They're reading the possession very, very well. And I mean, from a tactical point of view, if you were to be critical of Cork, you would have to be saying that they need to be delivering the ball much longer. I mean, the short passing game isn't working today. But credit to Tipperary, they've come back very, very strong. And every time possession goes inside, you see the corner forward side are very, very strong.
And Neil Ronan is getting ready for Cork. He's about to come into the game, I think, for Cian O'Connor.
Yes, I mean, Eamon Cochran is having a very, very good game for Tipperary, and Cork need to actually kind of nullify his challenge now. And Neil Ronan, we've seen what he's done in the past. He's come on, he's been a very, very big substitute for Cork.
Thank you very much. It's Neil Ronan perhaps coming in just a moment. He's on the sideline, not on just yet. Cork by a point in point 16-15. Chance for Tipperary here. Redzer O'Grady swinging it, and that's gone wide. The umpire thought about it for a moment, and Ger O'Grady thought it was over the bar. Well, he's convinced it was gone over. The umpire says no.
Wide. Yeah, it looked wide to me here, Ger. But that's a couple of chances. And here's Redzer again.
I think just outside.
Definitely outside. You know, that's a couple of wides Redzer's had. If he'd put them over, he'd be up there as well with the lad. But maybe he'd be better just do the simple thing and tip it into the full forward line.
So this is the change now, and Neil Ronan comes on for Cian O'Connor. Neil Ronan playing in his 16th championship match. Man who scored 17 points so far. Cian O'Connor comes off. It was Cian's 6th game for Cork. Well, he'll sit on the bench, watch the teams balance very, very delicately at this stage, one between them. Under enormous pressure there, McGrath getting it inside to John O'Brien. On his left-hand side, sweeping it down. Diarmuid O'Sullivan comes out, lets it bounce. John Carroll in quickly, takes it away, goes by Pat Mulcahy. His team a point behind, and he's hit it poorly, and he's put the ball wide. Wasted opportunities now, one after the other. First by Redzer O'Grady, and now by John Carroll.
Yeah, but I think they deserve huge credit here, that half-forward line. You know, we were all saying before the game, Cork half-back line would be well on top of them, but that's not the case. They're doing very, very well and working hard for every ball.
They've improved Tipperary in leaps and bounds in recent months. You consider where they were at the end of the league campaign. But they've got better and better, and Eamon Corcoran's having a great year. That's stopped by Ronan Curran, standing firm. His man hasn't scored so far in the game. This is the other centre half back, Conor O'Mahony. Up towards Owen Kelly. This time Kelly commits the foul on Brian Murphy. And the man in the green helmet wins the free for Cork. Kelly, such a danger man. Correctly rated, I think, the top hurler around at the moment. This is his point a little while ago here. Redzer O'Grady made it for him. He was under a lot of pressure. Brian Murphy after him, over his shoulder, beautifully found the range.
Yeah, and that's one of his strengths. Jerry can do that both left and right, so it's very, very hard to know. If you go right, he'll go left and he'll swing it over. But that's what Redzer played a low ball in there, and that's what he should be doing all the time. These speculative shots in every game, 3 or 4 points going wide.
This time the concern is about the Newport player, Conor O'Mahony. Sunshine has gone in. Lots of cloud overhead. Perfect conditions, really. Ger Cunningham, one of the selectors, making a point to John Allen.
Yeah, Jeremy, what a finely balanced match. Both half-back lines, midfield, half-hour lines on both teams. Very 50-50, you'd have to say, since the start of the game. Maybe the tip half-hour line shading it down here. But there's 20 minutes to go now, the crucial last 20 minutes. Who's going to crack first, you know, and can Tip live with this pace?
This could be a good switch, by the way. Diarmuid Fitzgerald has now gone to the 40 and Redzer has gone to full forward. Let's see what happens. Pressure on Cork, and that's gone wide.
Yeah, you know, Redzer has proven in the past he's very good in the air, and you know, gives Tip another option. Let the odd high ball into the square and let him fight it out. And Diarmuid Fitzgerald should be more mobile out there at centre half forward, so it could be a very good move.
I certainly think Fitzgerald's a lot happier playing at the half line.
Yeah, he can cover ground, you know, and he's a hurler. He's more of a hurler. He's a bit confined in the inside line.
Mulcahy can't clear. Here comes Redzer O'Grady. Gets there ahead of Diarmuid O'Sullivan. Back in there is Tom Kenny, having a better second half. Ronan Curran, quick look around. Thought about the pass. Going long into the corner. Neil Ronan racing after it. Will he make a big difference? Here he comes, taking on Paul Curran. He's out over the line. But he was ushered out over the line. But the referee anyway says that's going to be a puck out for Tipperary. Now, can he make a difference, Neil Ronan? He tends to be what they call this awful term, impact sub. But
yeah,
he does make a big difference, doesn't he?
Well, he does. I'm sure he's very unhappy with that. You know, he feels probably he's worth his place in the team on his own rights. But unfortunately, that's the way he's proven himself coming on. And normally he's good for a couple of scores.
And there's a change for Tipperary as well. John Devan from Clonulty Rossmore coming in. And it's Redzer O'Grady who's going off. Not his day. So John Milan comes in, and straight away Diarmuid Fitzgerald has been switched back to the fringe of the square on Diarmuid O'Sullivan, who had won the last couple of balls in there. That might have swung the decision. That's Jerry O'Connor trying to get the ball away. Needs support here. It's John Gardner, head down, full of determination, chased after by Shane McGrath into open space. Brian Corcoran trying to turn. Quick look around. Good block. Gets it back once again. Under pressure, he puts it wide. Mistakes been made now by players, but those are long-range opportunities, never easy. This was a very good block a little while ago here. It was Paul Kelly who was coming in on top of him. That's a total of 9 wides now for Cork.
Yeah, Paul Kelly and Shane McGrath very, very effective in the midfield for Tip, working really hard and closing down lads all over the place.
John Gardner again. Tom Kenny trying to control it this time. Paul Kelly was coming in. Kenny still. Mulcahy angling it across here. Joe Dean trying to get first run ahead of Declan Fanning. Trying to do a little dodge. Trying to deceptively take his way in here. Swinging it beautifully and over the bar. He's a master of that. Remember the semi-final against Clare. He's just knocked over his 6th point of the afternoon.
Joe, why don't Cork do more of that? A simple ball in front of Joe Dean. He has such skill, such touch, and you know, he's great patience. He just held that ball until Declan Fanning made the slip, gone past him, and an absolutely brilliant score. We've seen that, like, we've the 2 best corner forwards in the country here today, and both of them showing those outrageous skills. And you know, I don't know why Cork don't just play that man more.
Cork 2-11, Tipperary 1-12 in points. Cork 17, Tip 15, and as I speak, it's eaten into once again, and it's Lar Corbett. Well, he hasn't scored for a long time, but it's a goal and a point now for Lar, and a 1-point game.
Yeah, and in fairness to Tip, they've done this, you know, both Cork goals, they've hit back straight away, and there again when Joe Dean got a good point, a lovely point from Lar Corbett.
Two wonderfully well-managed teams, two evenly matched sides. But who's going to win the Munster Cup for 2006? Cork, remember, are trying to win it for the 50th time this year. Once again, it's John Carroll, tenacious. From the middle of the field, it's hit brilliantly there. But not quite on target by Paul Kelly. Wonderful setting, wonderful scene here. This, the statistical information we've been able to give you at the three-quarter stage of the game.
Yeah, it's very much 50-50, you can see from those stats. It's an intriguing contrast in styles, I think. You know, Tipper playing very traditional hurling, getting the ball, playing it in very fast into the forward, whereas Cork are still looking for the short balls, running game, and you know, which of them is going to come out and pop now at this stage.
Ben O'Connor, top of the left now. Jerry O'Connor, his twin brother, and the referee says no, free. Tipperary win the free. Ball was thrown. You can see it again in the replay here. It was Ben trying to find Jerry. There you are. Well, the fans are loving it. Okay, there's a quarter-final place up next for the two teams. We know all about that, but there's nothing to beat the Munster or the Leinster hurling final.
No, and a lot of these tip players in particular don't have Munster medals in their pockets, so they have a huge incentive.
Dermot O'Sullivan in some difficulty. Ronan Curran again coming to help. Paul Kelly going across, grabbing it, taking it in here. He's really fired up inside there and runs beyond John Milan. Or John Devan, I should say. Anyway, it's gone wide, and a puck out in the end of all of that for Cork. Well, there's still about 12 minutes to go in this Munster final. Donald O'Cusack down the centre, cut out really well here. Conor O'Mahony only as far as John Gardner. This time his target is Brian Corcoran. Paul Curran after him as well. Curran rolling it up, taking it, trying to get away, fouled. And listen to the Tipperary fans now. They love the determination and the never say die approach of their fullback.
Yeah, and Babs took a big chance leaving out Philly Maher, but Curran and Armand are more athletic, you know, and that's the way the game has gone. But Paul Curran, I think, very underestimated hurler over the last 2 or 3 years, and won a great 50-50 ball, and that should really lift Tip for the last 10 minutes.
Well, it's Cork still a point to the good. Winning at the moment by 17 points to 16, leading at least. O'Halpine back to Gardner once again. He's got freedom to manoeuvre. Taken in here by Neil Ronan, the substitute trying to get away from Hugh Maloney. Letting fly in towards Corcoran. Trying to keep him out, however, is the fullback. Brian Corcoran once again needing assistance. It's Neil Ronan. Back once more, Ben O'Connor discarding the helmet. Half blocked, successfully blocked. Curran trying to take it away. This is Jerry O'Connor. Back once again to Ben O'Connor. And that's wide. After all the effort, it must have touched it back, however, because the umpire has raised his hand, and it's going to be a 65. That was an awful lot of pressure, and Cork thought they were going to get nothing for it at the very end. Colin Morrissey is coming on to replace Paul Kelly. This, once again, here is that final piece of action. Must have been Shane McGrath that touched it.
Yeah, it didn't really look it from there. It could be a crucial score. Just see Babs now has taken off Paul Kelly, you know, really acting quickly on the sideline, bringing in fresh men when they're needed to keep up with this Cork game. And in fairness to Tipperary, they're really closing down Cork and giving them no room to hurl.
Well, Babs himself, I'm sure, will feel that he took a bit of a risk coming back as manager. He'd been out for a long, long time, but he's done a good job. Joe Dean ready to take this 65, score of 6 points so far. Ready to put 2 between them if he can. That's on target. It's another for Dean. A really prolific scorer. Cork 2 goals and 12. Tipperary 1 goal and 13. Once again, Tipperary trying to ask some questions of Cork's defence. Jerry O'Connor once again. O'Halpine over there. Seemed to have run away from him. Did well, got a vital touch. Eamon Corcoran's arguing the toss. It's going to be a line ball for Cork. Sean O'Halpine in no particular hurry at this stage. I make it about 8 minutes to play. 2 points the margin. Champions leading. Corcoran stepping away from trouble. Back once again. Well, now it's really asking questions of the Tipperary forward line at this stage. Can they maintain the consistency they've shown up to now? Out towards Ben O'Connor. O'Connor trying to go by Paul Ormond. A support player is available. His twin brother Jerry. And Jerry has this one going to the right. Another wasted chance. But at least the pressure remains on the Tipperary backs, and that's 10 wides now for Cork.
Tipperary are never going to get a better chance here. They've really done everything. They've rattled Cork, but you know Cork are still a couple of points ahead. But if Tipperary, if they want to win this badly enough, you know, just up the pace now for the next couple of minutes, and it's there for the taking.
Question is, will they and can they? Timmy McCarthy deemed to have been fouled, and it's going to be a free to Cork. Just have a look at this again here. Little push in the back. Eamon Corcoran has to be careful. He was yellow carded already. Second yellow card, and he'll have to be careful because Graham Poll is not refereeing this particular match. When he's around, 2 yellows and you stay on. Babs masterminding what he hopes will be a famous victory. Cork have other ideas. John Gardner to strike this. Oh, it's hit way to the left. An uncharacteristic error by a young player who's normally deadly accurate. Another substitution being made, and Benny Dunn is coming on for John O'Brien, who had a great first half but failed to stay the pace in the second. So the Tipperary management are ringing the changes. Now, have they got the answers, and can they unlock this Cork defence? It's all very well having the opportunity to take Cork, but will they take Cork? Are they able to? Jerry O'Connor trying to get the ball away. Timmy McCarthy is running his legs off and running his heart out. And the Cork management, John Allen certainly furious with the linesman this time, felt the ball had gone off a stick by virtue of a chop there on Timmy McCarthy. But it's going to be a line ball for Tipperary. And the linesman wants it back a little bit. Hugh Maloney was ready to take a yard or so if he could.
We don't normally see John Allen so animated. He was right beside it there, didn't take it well.
Well, there's a title at stake here. You work all winter into the spring preparing teams for this big day, and don't anybody tell you that the Munster Championship still doesn't mean as much as ever. For the 30 players in action right now, it means everything there is, and there's 5 minutes left, and there are 2 points between them as Maloney tries to set up a chance here for Benny Dunn. Letting fly, and he's put it over the bar, and there's just one between them. Benny Dunn has come in, and about 4 minutes after his entrance, he's scored.
A brilliant score, his first touch. He dispossessed that last ball for the line ball and drifted away from John Gardner. Brilliant score over his shoulder there.
Well, that call that John Allen was upset about earlier on might come back to haunt Cork. This is Pat Mulcahy.
That's a foul as well, Jared. That ball didn't pass the 21 on the way out, and it has to.
Once again, it's Tipperary with Conor O'Mahony trying to advance out here. Ball given away, however, to Tom Kenny. A couple of players chasing after him. One of them is O'Mahony, the other is Shane McGrath. Still it's Kenny. Jerry O'Connor to his left. Kenny running into a cul-de-sac. Great tracking back. This is Eamon Corcoran kicking it away into space just to put the pressure back on Cork, the defending champions, leading by 1. Into the corner it goes towards Diarmuid Fitzgerald. The other Diarmid, O'Sullivan's after him. Trying to make a better angle. Inside dangerously. Saved by the goalkeeper, and Owen Kelly is once again denied by Donald O'Cusack. Comes out to Sean O'Halpine. They chase after him. That was Carroll fouling him. Advantage allowed, and O'Halpine drives it down towards Brian Corcoran. All eyes on it. Corcoran trying to round the full-back. Corcoran trying to get a shot. Forced away from goal. Comes back out towards Ben O'Connor. Stepping away from danger. Trying to get the shot in, and Ben O'Connor has put it wide. So many times in the past, he's put that straight over the bar under pressure. Not today.
Yeah, Neil Ronan was loose inside. He was completely unmarked again there. Another mistake by Cork, and they are rattled. There's no doubt about that.
That's the save a little while ago. We have a cliffhanger on our hands here. The world of sport elsewhere may be looking to Germany in the World Cup, but Sean Allen, Babs Keating and the rest, their eyes focused right now on one game and one place only. It's Semple Stadium in Thurles.
There's no comparison what the lads are doing out there, and look at the money they're getting in Germany. Different class, these guys.
Who's going to take the cup? Once again it's Paul Ormond. He's got a free player, Eamon Corcoran. Up towards Owen Kelly, battling his heart out there with Brian Murphy, who's done a marvellous job on him. And the foul committed. Murphy on the ground. Cork annoyed. Referee having a word with John Carroll, drawing him aside. Little word in your ear, John. Just one yellow card issued so far. This time it's just the notebook for John Carroll. Heat of the moment stuff, I'm sure Tipperary will say. This is it again here. John Carroll coming across, a late challenge. Referee deciding it's a black notebook rather than a yellow card. On other days I think it would have been a card. Referee telling Brian Murphy how much time is left. As you can see, we're almost into the 69th and 70th minute. They're going to be 3 minutes of stoppage time, so we're looking at 4 minutes remaining. Niall McCarthy sitting it out. New man in, number 21, Kieran Murphy. 4 minutes to decide who's going to win in Munster. Pressure on Eamon Corcoran, bats it. Ormond comes out from corner back, spills loose towards Joe Dean, needing a support player. Ben O'Connor towards Jerry O'Connor, trying to work his way through, looking for something from the referee. Comes back out here once again towards the new man in, Kieran Murphy, under pressure, drives it high. It's over the bar! What an amazing substitution! Kieran Murphy from Sarsfields puts it over. This is the player who was omitted from the starting 15. Well, he's made his presence felt immediately. Micheál Webster is about to come in for Tipperary as a replacement for Hugh Maloney. I think it's a case of taking off one back. Diarmid Fitzgerald anyways gone to half back. It's a little turnaround in plan by Babs Keating. One last throw of the dice, two between them. Tip have to score a goal in the next 3 minutes. Cork to hang on to take their 50th title. Wonderful drama, great excitement, some great skill. Line ball, it's to Cork. Tip, crestfallen by that decision. Some of the players out of shot there.
Yeah, I thought that was a tip ball. I thought it came off Ben O'Connor's foot. Maybe I'm wrong, just there was a lot of shuffling down there.
It's got to be a Cork ball. That's what the linesman decided.
Very marginal, yeah.
Ben O'Connor gets a replacement Hurley. I bet that's made in North Cork. Ben and the dad, of course, Hurling manufacturers.
Homemade.
A line ball then. I wonder will he try and put it over the bar from here. He's in no particular hurry and the Tip fans are furious with him. And the linesman wants him to bring it nearer to the line. All of this is eating into the time, and there's a minute and 13 seconds of stoppage time already gone. Cork ahead by 2 points, 19-17. It's not the date, it's the score. Beautifully in, taken here well, under pressure by Paul Curran. Tip need to work the ball up the field. They need to get into a goal-scoring chance. They haven't got a goal-scoring chance. It's Jerry O'Connor instead, and there's another foul. And another free. The one thing that Tip will not have wanted their players to do, to concede frees easily to Cork at this late stage. A day when the number of chances created by both teams almost identical. Cork created 29 scoring chances, Tipperary 28. Cork took 20, Tipperary took 15 so far. Joe Dean rather. Dean to try and hit this one over from 45 metres. He's put it over. That's his 8th. He's taken 8 shots at the target. He's scored 8 points. You can't do much better than that, than the man from Killa. Is there a goal there for Tipperary to rescue this game? Micheál Webster maybe, he'll be the hero. Oh, that hand pass, bad one. O'Halpine looking for a free player. Foul committed. And Micheál Webster and one or two of the others there. Not flavour of the month. John Devan being spoken to.
Yeah, it was a high attack. Gerard, 20 points again. Cork have scored today, 2-14. That seems to be their golden number. Overall, the last major championship matches, 20-21 points. And Joe Dean in with 8 points again today.
They've gone into this match, you know, Michael, unbeaten in 10 championship matches. This is about to be number 11, it seems. And yet they've come close on occasions.
It's very like the Clare match last year. You know, they were there for the taking, but they've withstood it now. It looks like they're going to finish this game as winners again. You know, and some record they have. They want to go straight through the front door and win their 3rd All-Ireland in a row.
Breaks through, Joe Dean, stopped by Brendan Cummins. And the referee's going to throw the ball in. That was another late chance there for Cork, and in particular for Joe Dean. But credit Brendan Cummins, got down really well on this one here.
Joe Dean is deadly in those situations. Little flick. I think there was a bit of a... Yeah, Ben O'Connor pulled a wild stroke there on Dermot Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald is down.
Oh, the referee, Dickie Murphy, blows, and that's it! Cork are once again the Munster Hurling champions. That's the 50th time they've achieved that. A very notable honour for a wonderful team, a wonderful group of players who play so well as a team. Yes, they may have 6 or 7 outstanding players, but John Allen has nurtured the team spirit. There's a cohesion about them, with Sean O'Halpine, last year's captain, one of the stars as ever. But today they came up against a Tipperary team who had as good a chance of knocking out the champions as they're ever likely to get, and they just failed in that task.
They did, you know, Tipperary, in fairness to Babs, the Tipperary team, they had a massive game plan. They stayed with Cork, they stopped the running game, they really had their homework done, but at the end of the day Cork just took their scores that little bit easier. They had some bad wides, and Tipperary would be very, very disappointed. The game was there for the taking the last 15-20 minutes, and they just didn't have the drive to go on and do it. So Cork not at their best, maybe the last day against Clare either, but ominously they're still going forward and they're still going to be the team to beat.
Cork took the lead after 12 minutes. You remember the bright start made by Tipperary, and after Cork went in front in that 12th minute, they never relinquished that lead. And the team now going across at the end of a latest victory in Munster. It's Cork 2-14, Tipperary 1-14. It was another day for the red and white. Their fans are savouring this. I think the rest of the country are probably waiting, as inevitably happens, for the champions to be beaten, but they are refusing to be beaten.
Yeah, but Jared, they're going to be worried. Ben O'Connor is obviously carrying a fairly serious injury. You know, he's not mobile. He got a goal and a point today, but he had other chances and didn't take them. And really, Joe Dean 8 points today, Brian Corcoran 1-1, and Ben O'Connor 1-1. Outside of that, their half Ireland didn't score. They only got 1 point from the middle of the field. So really, you know, if Joe Dean can be held now with Ben O'Connor carrying an injury, where are they going to get the scores from? We've been saying this for the last couple of years, and somebody different is coming up every day. But you know, worrying signs there, the hunger, the appetite, they're still there. They won a tight match today. They won a tight match against Clare last year. I still fancy them to win the All-Ireland, but they're really going to, half Ireland in particular, are going to have to put more scores on the board.
Well, they're into the quarter-finals. So are Tipperary. Tipperary will now have to recover from this loss very, very quickly. Let's go down to the sideline and join Tony O'Donoghue.
Thanks very much indeed, Ger. John Allen, the Cork manager, joins me. John, I don't think I've ever seen you so animated during 70 minutes of hurling.
I was animated, I have to say I was animated. I mean, it was tit for tat. There was never more than a puck of a ball in it, you know. Half-time didn't come soon enough. Like, it certainly seemed at half-time that Tipper after going in winning the game, you know, which they were. we were very down. We didn't come out of the traps. We didn't play well. Tip didn't allow us to play well. I'm so delighted, you know, because all the week we were being written up as red hot favourites. The Munster Championship was going to suffer, but it didn't suffer. You had a great game today. I'm delighted with the result.
A couple of years ago, Cork had difficulty scoring goals. The 2 goals today were absolutely crucial.
Absolutely crucial, there's no doubt about it. When Tip were dominant for a lot of the first half, when we got 2 goals, Tip had, I think, it's 9 points at half-time. You know, it was great. We've been criticised for not getting goals. Ben stepped up again, like you know, the hero that he is many times, and got a great goal. But overall, I mean, it was, you know, as you said, I was animated. It was tit for tat, and I'm just thrilled we won.
You contested every ball on the sideline as well.
I did. I'd say the linesman must fill up to see my face, because you know, I suppose that happens when the stakes are high and when it's so close. Like, you do get sucked in, and normally I don't get sucked in, but today I was.
Well, congratulations. Go and enjoy it. The Munster Cup will be presented.
Well, the amazing thing is that Pat Mulcahy is going across now to receive the cup there from Sean Fogarty. And 2 years ago, another Newton Chandran man was also captain, but that time Ben O'Connor finished on the losing team, you remember, against Waterford. So this is the first time a Newton Chandran man is going to take the Munster Cup home to North Cork, to that wonderful club there. Let's hear what Sean Fogarty has to say.
Finally, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Michael Whelan on behalf of our great sponsors, Guinness. Thank you, Michael. And it now gives me great pleasure to present the Munster Senior Hurling Cup to a great Cork captain, Pat Mulcahy.
So the Munster Cup is retained by Cork, and they make another little piece of history. Title number 50.
With the changes of the All-Ireland Championship, some people may say that the Munster Championship is being devalued. What you saw out there today was a classic Munster final, and indeed it gives me great pleasure on behalf of the Cork Senior Hurling team to pick up that cup for the 3rd time in 4 years. There are a few people I thank has made all this possible. First of all, our sponsors, O2, Pat Madigan, Catherine Tiernan, everyone involved have been tremendous to us the last few years. Secondly, the Cork County Board, Mick Dolan and all his staff, and indeed my own club, Newtown Chandran, for giving me the honour for standing here today. Our backroom staff, Dr. Con Murphy, Decky Sullivan, Dave Pine, Chris O'Donovan, Jerry Sullivan, Jimmy McAvoy, Eddie O'Donnell, our 2 trainers, Sean McGrath and Jerry Wallace. And most importantly, our 5 selectors, John Cunningham, Joe Leary, Patsy Morrissey, Fred Sheedy and our coach, John Allen. I'd like to thank Tipperary for having such a fantastic surface, a great stadium, the referees, linesmen and umpires and everyone involved here today. And finally, the Tipperary team for giving a fantastic display of hurling, full of pride and passion. 3 cheers to Tipperary. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Thank you very much.
All right, let's hear somebody else then talking to Tony down by the sideline. Tony O'Donoghue, please.
Thanks very much indeed, Ger Canning. Well, Tom Barry, the Tipperary selector, is with me. Tom, you'll be very disappointed at that. You came very close to Cork, but 5 points in the second half isn't enough to win a game as important as this.
Yeah, no, I think Cork outscored us 8 points to 5 in the second half, Tony, and I suppose that was the difference. But with 5 minutes to go, they were only a point up, and we had every chance of winning it. But I suppose their little bit of more experience at competing at this level just seemed to show in that last 5 or 6 crucial minutes, and we didn't seem to be able to make the space to get the couple of crucial scores.
What positives will you take from this, though, going into the qualifiers now?
Well, I suppose we were kind of no hopers. If you know, with the bookies, with most people, people were writing us off as having no chance. So we'd be very pleased and very proud of the display that the players gave. We felt we were right in the game at half-time level, having played against the wind. And we feel we have a lot of quality in the team, but we probably still obviously have a bit of work to make that final step up to the top teams. But very pleased with the performance today, but hugely disappointed.
Thanks very much for joining us.
Okay, Tony.
So yes, commiserations to Tipperary, congratulations, however, to Cork as we go back to Michael.
Ger Canning, thank you very much indeed. Well, for the neutral, it was an epic battle, real titanic struggle for Cork people, obviously. A fantastic game. Tip, heartbreak, but that's, gentlemen, what Munster Championship hurling is all about in the daylight today, sir.
Yeah, Michael, first of all, you have to say to the two teams, they gave us a great game of real Munster hurling at its best. Ding-dong stuff, great scores, great saves, hard tackles, but no dirty blows at all. And again, Cork showed that they're great champions because they weren't really firing on all cylinders. They never went away from their game plan. They still worked the sharp puck outs and built up at the back. At times, they're very frustrated looking because it was breaking down, but they stuck at it. Tip threw everything at them. And Tip, I know they'll be disappointed tonight, but they will feel like that they're getting up there. They're up with the Corks, and maybe they're past others, the Kilkennys and Galways.
It was a classic kind of scenario. I mean, Tip pushed for the line. They pushed as hard as any team could. The champions were the champions.
Well, it was just so like Clare and Cork last year. You felt that the other team were the Clare were in it, Tip were in it, and eventually this Cork would be outdone in the end. But like true champions, they fought really back. Now, I think when Babs looks at it, he'll see that he made one bad mistake. And the mistake was in the first half, the puck outs were shot going into midfield. They were winning an awful lot of the ball there. There was a big gap between that half forward line and that full forward line. They knew the puck outs would come along in the second half. Now the mistake they made, they withdrew their half forward line almost on top of their full forward line, leaving no space for Owen Kelly, leaving no space for Lark Corbett, who were all doing all the damage in the first half. Yeah. So and Ronan Curran, Sean Hogan, John Gardner stormed into the game in the second half. It was only natural that would happen.
Yeah.
It was only natural.
That comes from experience.
Correct. That comes from experience. But I think when they think of it and they run back over it, they'll see they have a very good team. They've improved immeasurably and still have a great chance at the McCarthy Cup.
All right, lads, we have a commercial break coming up. After that, news of the day's other big games in Sunday Game Plus, and that's in just a few minutes.